Most people in Canada are working harder than ever, and somehow they still feel broke. Not broke like you can't eat, but broke like your paycheck comes in, money disappears, and a few weeks later, you're staring at your bank account wondering where it all went. And maybe you've had that moment where you open your banking app, you look at the number, and for a second, it just doesn't make sense. Because you know how much you earn, you know you're trying, and still it feels like nothing is really changing. And the strange part is, it's not because you're lazy. It's not even because you don't earn enough. It's because nobody ever actually showed you how money is supposed to work. Not the textbook version, the real version. So that's what this video is about. Because if your financial life feels a little out of control right now, there's a reason for that. And more importantly, there's a way to fix it, starting today. My name is Sai. I spend a lot of time understanding how money, housing, and investing actually work in Canada, so you don't have to learn it the hard way. And real quick, this is just to help you understand how this works, not financial advice. If you're making a big money decision, it's always worth talking to a professional. All right, let's get into it. Here's the thing nobody really tells you. Your financial problems are probably not a math problem. They are a behavior problem. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean it in a very real scientific way. There's something called behavioral economics, and it basically says this: human beings are not rational with money. We never have been. We feel losses more strongly than gains. We spend more when we tap a card than when we use cash. We delay things that don't give immediate results, like saving or investing. So when you tell yourself, I'll start next month, that's not weakness. That's how your brain is wired. But once you understand that, that's where things start to change. Let's talk about what's actually happening right now. In Canada, everything feels expensive. Groceries, rent, gas. And it's not just in your head. You feel it every time you go to the store, every time you check your rent, every time you fill up your tank. And on top of that, a lot of people are carrying debt. Credit cards, car payments, buy now, pay later. And the tricky part is none of these feel big on their own, but together they quietly stack up. So what do most people do? They either ignore it or they try to fix everything at once, cut everything, be perfect for 2 weeks, and then slowly fall back into the same pattern. Sound familiar? The problem isn't discipline. The problem is the system. Think of it like a bucket. Your income is the water going in, but there are small holes at the bottom. Subscriptions you forgot about, impulse buys that felt small, interest quietly eating your money, spending to feel better after a stressful day. And here's the tricky part. You don't notice these leaks in the moment. Each one feels small, but over time, they drain everything. Most people respond by trying to pour more water in, work more, earn more. But if the leaks are still there, nothing really changes. The real fix: find the leaks and patch them, one at a time. So what does that actually look like? Let's make this simple. Step 1, figure out where your money is actually going. Not where you think it's going, where it's actually going. Because most people are guessing, and when you guess, you miss what actually matters. Look at your last month, bank statements, credit cards, and group everything into just 4 buckets: needs, wants, savings, and debt. That's it. And when you do this, you'll probably notice things you didn't expect. Small patterns, repeated spending, things you don't even remember buying. And that's the point. You're not doing this to feel bad. You're doing this to see clearly, because you can't fix what you don't see. Step 2, flip how saving works. Most people spend first and save what's left, but what's left is usually nothing. So instead, pay yourself first. The moment your paycheck hits, move a fixed amount to savings automatically before you even see it. Because if you see it, your brain will plan to use it, even if you didn't intend to. Start small if you need to. $50, $25. The amount doesn't matter. What matters is making it automatic. In Canada, a great place to start is a TFSA because anything that grows inside it is completely tax-free, which means over time, you keep more of what your money earns. And here's what's interesting. When saving becomes automatic, something shifts. You stop relying on discipline, and your spending naturally adjusts to what's left, because your brain can't miss what it never saw. I'm curious, what's actually been stopping you from saving or investing? Is it income, spending, or just not knowing where to start? Let me know in the comments. Step 3. Understand your debt, because not all debt is the same. A mortgage is very different from a credit card charging 20% interest. High-interest debt is working against you every single day, even when you're not thinking about it. So if you have it, that's the priority. And here's something that works surprisingly well. If you have multiple debts, start with the smallest one, not because it's perfect mathematically, but because it gives you a win. And that win builds momentum, and momentum is what keeps you going. Step 4. Start investing, even if it feels early, even if it feels small, because time is the most important factor. Not how much you invest, not timing the market, time. If you start earlier, your money has more time to grow, and that difference becomes huge over the long term. You don't need to overcomplicate this. You don't need to pick stocks. You don't need to predict anything. Simple index ETFs inside a TFSA are enough to get started. You just need to begin. Here's the part most people don't expect. Building wealth is not exciting. It's quiet. It's slow. It's consistent. It's boring. It's like planting something and letting it grow over time. But we live in a world that expects instant results, and money doesn't work like that. You're not investing for next year. You're investing for the version of you 20 years from now. And that person is going to live with the decisions you make today. And sometimes it's just one small change, one less expense, one small habit, redirected consistently that creates a completely different outcome. So if you're wondering what to actually do after this, keep it simple. This week, look at your spending. This month, set up one automatic transfer. This year, focus on reducing high-interest debt. And once that's gone, turn that into investing. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to do everything. You just need to start. Because the people who build real financial stability aren't the ones who do everything perfectly. They're the ones who started and didn't stop. They made it automatic. They made it simple. They let time do the work. And over time, they built something most people don't have. Options. Real options. That's what this is really about. Not getting rich quickly, just getting in control. If you want simple, clear explanations like this around money and investing in Canada, consider subscribing. I'm Sai. I'll see you in the next one.